All right, baby. It's late January now.
Yes, it is.
It's right
Last
about
week
that.
of
Yeah.
January, actually.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
It's around about that time where people start to slip on their goals
Okay.
already.
Yeah.
You know, usually it don't even take all the way to February. It'd be late January, life done started happening, stuff done got, you know, in motion again. Work is working. People get more busy.
Yeah.
Everything starts to pile on itself, and you start feeling that reality check. And so for us, you know, and all you guys listening, we decided to go ahead and realign our goals again, which is something I feel like we do all the time.
We do.
But it's like our first time actually talking about it. Because I know us, man, we redo our goals all throughout the year.
Yeah.
All the time anyway. But we always have like that time at the beginning of the year where we've started doing stuff. And then we start getting more clarity on the things that we're doing. And then we have to go back and do our goals again with the new clarity that we've gotten since we've locked in, you know, really for us long before the top of the year. But now it's like, all right, we know exactly what it is that we're working toward. We know what these next 6 months need to look like. We know what the rest of this year needs to look like.
Right.
And now we're a little bit more focused, especially with our work schedules and different things like that. What's going on in the household, managing baby girl. There's more clarity now.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can hop back in this thing and be way more, you know, on point with what we're moving towards.
Yeah.
So that's what this episode is about, family. We're talking about goal setting over again and sharing with you guys a little bit, you know, of our process and how we do that and what it looks like right now. So, baby, how you want to lead this off?
I don't know, just telling my process. I mean, like you said, like we were already like full blown into working towards our goals before the new year hit. But sometimes when you're in the activity, you learn while you're doing the thing, and then you be like, I kind of need to revamp this thing.
Yeah.
Or be more specific, or kind of tweak my habits if I want this outcome. So you kind of learn in the doing. And I think since we learn so much in the activity, it's like normal for us to go back and revamp our goals with that new clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know, man, we had wrote down our goals for the top of the year, I think back in like early December. Granted, we already had some momentum and stuff like that, and we had started working in that direction. But like we said, you start doing things, getting a little bit more intentional, life starts life and whatever the case. And then we realized that some of those goals that we set back then weren't as important as we thought they would be. And we was like, all right, we need to shift our attention somewhere else.
Right.
And now we've had that opportunity to like revamp things. And so I know with us now, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like we've gotten to that point now to where we're like, all right, so this is what the next, 3 years for us, is what we're working toward. This is what we want it to look like.
And let's be specific. So when we talk about things we want to work towards, we make sure they align with our values, the beliefs we have, and the direction that we want to go. Like it has nothing to do with anybody else. We make sure we look within ourselves to figure out what we want and make sure it aligns with us. And then we set the goals.
Right.
So I just want to be specific.
Yeah. I mean, and that's probably the most important thing about it.
Yeah, because I know like when we talk about goals, sometimes we can be very vague because we know what we're talking about. And it's like, okay, well, how do you go about setting goals in the first place? Like, are we talking about like fitness goals? Are you talking about relationship goals, career? Like what goals are specific? And I think like people need to know like it's specific to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have goals set for many different areas of our lives. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and that's kind of like our process. Like we start individually, writing out the things that are important to us, on the individual level.
Yes.
We talk about, how we want to feel. We want to talk about our mindsets. And it's always starting from the inside out.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of people, at least I don't know of a lot of people who often talk about that. But setting your goals from the inside out as far as making sure that first, you start off with addressing who you want to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, who do I want to be from the inside out? How do I want to feel about myself? What type of mindset do I want to have? How do I want to see myself? What things make me proud? What emotions do I want to experience? All of those things.
Right.
We start there. And then we go into the activities and things like that we want to accomplish. The more measurable things that other people are able to see or whatever the case. And so there's parts to that when we start our individual process that are specific to us individually.
Yes.
And then we go into like, all right, we want to make this much or do this with our content or hit these fitness goals. We do that process individually. We look at them, and it's crazy because a lot of the times, I mean, it's not that odd for us, but our goals always end up looking very similar. And for us, I mean, that makes sense because we talk about this stuff all the time. Like, we're talking about goal setting on the show here for the top of the year and stuff like that. But I'm sure, man, we're talking about our goals at least 6, 7, 8 times a month. You know what I mean? Probably more than that, like on a regular basis.
I would say, like, especially like these last 3 months, we talk about our goals every day. Like, even if it's not like very in like specific detail, we still talk about it every single day.
Yeah. So when they make it to paper, when we're writing them out to be more specific, it's not a surprise when they look very similar. And
I think, like, in addition to that, it's the fact that we've agreed on a very specific shared vision, and everything that we do individually feeds into that shared vision. So obviously, like, certain things you do, certain things I do, it's gonna match in its own way, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And because it's filtered to the big thing, so it makes sense they're similar. Because like, it might be okay, like, be really confident in who I am, but how we go about being confident in who we am looks totally different. Like, for you, like, you're really confident on the camera, so like that comes natural to you. For me, I might be like, oh, well, I want to be confident on camera, so I need to practice being on camera, where you need to practice on whatever, making longer YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you want to build your confidence at. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know what? And that's so dope. And I think that's a real good thing to be able to share with people. So, for one, like we said before, like, we start individually, and then we look at our individual goals, and then we create shared goals on a different piece of paper, or document on our computers, to where it has our combined vision. But moving away from that, when we start talking about character traits and things like that we want to be able to have, I think it's dope that we talk about how we will have a goal for a character trait that we want to build, right? And sometimes we might have that same character trait that we want to build, like you said, confidence, or being able to communicate better, or being more creative. But our process of what we're doing to establish that is very different.
Right.
Like you said, like, for me, it might be making long form content on, like, my YouTube channel, or it might be something that I'm sharing in my content, or what I'm scripting, or whatever. But then for you, it could be something completely different. It could be like the way you carry yourself when you're posing, you know, like that, getting ready for, you know, like the stage and whatnot, or whatever. Like you said, being behind the camera, all that. And I think that's dope because when you start talking about, you know, building yourself from the inside out, is realizing that we really are our own individuals. And so we could still be working toward the same goals, but needing to do very different things
to get there,
in order to get there and to become those type of people. And like, I think what's crazy about that, because I don't know if we talked about it in detail much when you were doing your wellness competition, bodybuilding. What was it, last year?
June
last year. Crazy, man. Time be flying. But we talk about that, you know, like how, oh, you did this activity, but the activity itself really had another bigger goal behind it. And how we're always chasing down becoming these better versions of ourselves from the inside out. But the activities that we do are just the activities.
Right.
But the thing that's more important about it is who we're becoming in the process, because we need to be happy with ourselves, proud of ourselves, and all of those things for whatever it is that we're doing and what we're trying to get to in the future. Because you still got to take you with you. And so it's like, how do we want to feel when we get to whatever this goal is? And I love the fact that we start there. So I just want to go down that rabbit hole real quick and just share that perspective, man, because I don't know how many people actually talk about that, like who you're becoming that makes you proud. So thinking about like our goals, there's a couple of them that you want to share. Anything that you want to share specifically? Because I know we always a little vague, but is there anything you want to share that's not so near and dear to you?
I mean, all of it
or
is
heavy?
all of it is very near and dear. What's a goal I have set that I want to share? Okay, I want to get into making my own video content.
Okay.
I do, like, in the back of my mind, like, I want to do that, but I feel like I have this fear of doing that. So more like reels, type content, not YouTube long videos. Like, you can have that.
Mm-hmm.
But making more video content, and I really want to start stepping more into doing that on my own without you by my side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so I guess that's one of my goals, like getting more confident in that. It's like I feel like I'm confident in a lot of things, like, but that right there is the one thing I feel like I need to push myself to do.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's where you want to start building that next level of confidence.
Yeah, because I feel like that, again, like I'm confident in so many other areas, and that's the only one right now where I'm like, okay, this kind of like scares me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, walking towards or running towards what scares you so you can just go ahead and get over it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing, man. Like, doing the activity is usually only the way. It's like the only way. And man, I can't wait to see who you become when you start that process, and getting more confident in sharing your voice in front of the camera. Because it's so different than when we're having our own conversations, like on the couch or sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But like, man, I'm like, bro, when y'all get to hear the stuff that I hear regularly, and my baby just chilling, doing whatever she's doing, man, and creating these videos, it's going to be a game changer. Because I'm like, man, you got so much dope stuff to say that never makes it
I know
to this camera. Like, it never makes it to the show ever.
Yeah.
Because our conversations, man, outside of this be crazy.
Crazy good.
We just need to put cameras everywhere. And
just every freaking where. But yeah, so that's what I'm working towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Ooh, the big one for me that I would like to share is that building this doggone YouTube channel, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building that thing, man, and really
building your own.
Building my own.
Okay.
Just because I know, I do love what we do here, but I got so much extra stuff that I want to share that's personal to me.
Yeah.
Especially, like helping and pouring into other men and things like that too. Because again, there's a lot of crap out there, man. It's a lot of crap. Like, and there's a lot of people, who do. Let me say this a different way. There's a lot of people out there, who are talking and sharing their message and stuff like that. And I think that's dope. Let's start there. Just the fact that you got the nerve to do it anyway, like, hey, that's dope. But my message is a bit different.
Yeah.
And I look forward to being able to share my message the way that I want to do it and help the people that I'm called to serve and that I want to help. And yes, that's it. Like, get more comfortable teaching and speaking about some of the things that I've learned. And the interesting part about that is, like, I can do that so well, man, when I'm coaching or when I'm talking to other people and doing it in that environment. But it's so different when it's just you sitting there, doing your thing, and it's just the camera going. And
you looking at the camera.
Yeah, like, and it's so different. And I know, man, I had started that process, was that last year or year before last? I don't know. I did a while back, right? And I'm like, man, bro, like freaking 15, 20 videos in. I'm like, bro, I was cooking. And then I stopped.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons or whatever. But then I'm like, man, I wish I had it like kept going. But me then wasn't me now.
Yeah.
And that's all good. And so I'm looking forward to just being able to share that mission, man. Well, share those videos, create that content, and see who I become in the process, because I want to become a better teacher at being able to share some of the stuff, that I've learned, that we've grown through, things that have really helped me out, and just share this new level of perspective, man, because that's the big mission, being able to use the stuff that we've learned and give that back to people in a way that they can actually use it.
Yes.
And keeping that crap like out of the clouds, not using a whole bunch of lingo that only I don't know, certain demographics of people understand, like just making it real and relatable in where anybody can be able to take that and be like, all right, I really got something from that and I can actually go and use it.
Right.
And he didn't lose me in his delivery saying a whole bunch of lingo that I don't get.
Right.
So yeah, that's the mission, man. That's one of my real big goals.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. So that's on the way in a bigger way.
Starting this week.
Starting this week.
Yay. How can I support you?
Shoot, just making sure I record, man. That's it. I just got to get up in this thing.
Just make sure I do it.
All I really need, I'm telling you, like after about 2-3 weeks of being consistent, just getting here and doing that thing, you know, regardless of how it goes, that's really it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to get up in this thing. I'm going to record 3 times a week. After I hit, you know, about 6, 7, 10 videos, I'm going to be in my bag at that point. I'm going to be in my bag. And I just need to get there. It's like, hey, man, just get to the first 10. Get to the first 10, and you're going to be all right.
Right.
Get them first 10 videos out, and then after that, run it.
That's good.
So, yeah, I just got to get that. I got to get that done. But it's on the way. And like I said, man, it's not even about just giving the value, but like, bruh, I'm like, who am I going to be 50 videos in, 100 videos in? Like, how much more clear will I have gotten on the message that I want to be able to share and seeing how that lands and how well I communicate, how I've shifted from getting feedback from others and things like that. So just growing through that process. I'm excited to see what it produces on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. But, yeah, man, that's where we at with it.
Yeah. Do you think we gave a good breakdown? We started with, okay, knowing what our values are in this season. And then we set our goals based on our own values, not what other people are doing. And then we set the goals. We look within, we set the goals. And then we ask each other how we support each other.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we just show up for each other the way we need to, and we do what we need to do.
Yeah, and that is a big part of it, man, because if you do not get an alignment with your spouse, it can make whatever it is that you're running towards that much more difficult. So I love the fact that anytime we are creating our goals and we're talking about it, when I'm done with it, my first thing I need to do is I bring it to you. I'm like, babe, this is what I'm working toward. This is what is important to me, whatever the case may be. Granted, we've already talked about that stuff most of the time.
Yeah.
But now it's like, all right, this is what's on paper.
Yeah.
And like you said before, you was like, all right, how can I support you? Because the best thing about that is like when you're in alignment, you don't have to feel like, let's say as a man or as a husband, man, I'm neglecting my family when I'm out here doing this thing that's, a part of my goals. And I'm just doing it, telling my wife and my family, it's important, but I haven't got them involved. So now to them, it just feels like neglect. To you, it feels like neglect, but you also like, man, I got to do this for them, but you didn't get them involved. So now if it gives off more of a selfish vibe and it's all about you vibe rather than you never considered them in a way that included them. Because granted, you might be thinking about them.
Yeah.
But it just don't hit as hard when you can include them. And then they can take the opportunity to see how they could support you and feel a part of that process.
Absolutely.
Because you could have the right intentions, but do it the wrong way. And so you got to be mindful of that. Like getting each other involved so that way it gives us the opportunity to be able to show up for each other and say, hey, how can I support you? Oh, okay. Well, when you get home, on Wednesday, you need to record, at 6 o'clock from 6 to 7. I bet I can expect that, or you can expect that from me, and it's no problem.
Right.
You be like, all right, babe, like what you need, you got everything. All right, I'm going to make sure it's quiet or whatever, and it's no problem.
Right.
Or whenever you're working on the things that you're working on, show up you the same way, and there's no problem.
Absolutely.
Because we agreed on this. So yes, that support part is heavy.
Absolutely.
So it's aligning our standards, our values, what's important to us. That's where we start. Individually, we making sure we're writing out our goals, even though we talk about them most of the time, but we talk about them ahead of time before they get on paper.
Yeah.
We put them on paper, our individual stuff, share them with each other. And then we come back and we create a shared one that's aligned with us both in mind. And we figure out how best we could be able to support each other in pursuit of those things, be it the individual goals and the ones that we're working toward together. And after we freaking all on the same page, man, let's just get after it.
Yeah.
Just make it happen. And that's our process.
That's it. I hope we explained that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that complicated.
Yeah. I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
But we've been doing this for years, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple. Like, so simple.
Yeah, and that's how we do our, like, big goals. That's how we do small goals, like whether it be our relationship, like us wanting to be better at communicating. We break down stuff exactly like that's the same process we use every single time.
And man, and that big part is keeping each other included, man.
Yeah.
Because your spouse needs to know how best to show up for you in those moments, because that alignment, man, is everything.
Absolutely.
And then also feeling like you're not alone in whatever it is that you're going after. Even though a lot of our stuff is shared, that there are still things that are unique to us individually.
Yeah.
And we got to make sure that we got each other's back and know how to have each other's back in those moments when we're doing those things.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, that's how we coming with it. And of course, as always, man, we hope that you guys have gotten, some value out of this. We enjoyed the conversation. Hope we broke that down the right way and all of that good stuff. But that's it, family. My name is John Tron. This is my beautiful queen,
Adoria.
We are one dope couple. And until next time, family, peace and love.